Welcome to another episode of The Pause, Reclaiming Our Time. And this time, it's time for the Ladies Roundtable. Let's start this conversation today. We're going to actually get the women's side of what we asked the men.
Okay, so ladies, what do you wish your mother or maternal figure had said to you or told you when you were younger about this phase of life?
You know, at this point in your life, you're at one of the highest points in your career, so those are all positives. You've raised your children, those are all wonderful things. But there are specific personal things that you're going through that they really eliminate. They don't talk about that stuff at all, right? So every once in a while, you take in your sweater.
Why are you getting a dress?
And no one really talks to you about that and what to expect and what that experience is going to be like.
Didn't we watch our parents? And I don't know about you, but I looked at them like, God, they're old. Oh my God, she's so old. Like, oh God, I don't get to be that old. And it's so crazy because that was me as a young person, right? The 20-year-old thinking that my 40-something-year-old mother was old. And then watching her age. And I had such a rebellious spirit. There was really nothing that she could have told me. I'd have been like, yeah, you old. So Monique, what about you?
My mother was 19 when I was born, and I have a sister also, and I feel like we've all aged together. So I'm not surprised that she didn't prepare me as well for aging as she did maybe in the very beginning when I first began my menses. She was also a denier. You know, she denied that she was experiencing, and she would be like full-blown sweating in the middle of the winter, and we would say, Mom, and we were like, Mom, you're flashing. She was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I mean, she never, ever admitted to having a flash, so she never, ever discussed menopause. So it would have been nice if she could have been a little bit more open about that.
And back then, they really didn't talk. It sounds like she was suffering in silence. You know, it's like in complete denial of what's happening.
Yeah. Well, we know that that's definitely what happens, because we did a little woman on the street thing, and we said, so what your mama tell you about menopause, right? And nothing, across the board. But it's also, they were in denial, because everyone, I'm like, what did your mother go through it? No, she said she didn't go through it. Okay, so I'm going to jump into the hot, nasty comments, okay, the question. I really want to know. We've had conversations with women in our research for, Fria. Fria is our cooling technology jewelry that we've been working on, coming to a store near
Diligently
you.
working.
But we've been having conversations with women about this stage of life. And then one of the really sad things we've heard is women say, they feel like they're not as sexy. Or they're not going to have sex anymore because they're at this stage of life. And that made me sad, because I was like, why? Like, is there like some contract that says that you get to midlife and you give up this aspect of your life? They talked about the symptoms that we might experience, the dryness and stuff like that. And I was like, there's stuff that you can work on with. And like, you don't even need outside stuff if you do it right. So, how y'all feel about this? How you feel about your sex life now?
Let's get right to it.
I hear these stories all the time, and I have a great sex life, so I really feel very lucky and blessed, but it does give me anxiety to hear from my friends about the issues that they're experiencing. So I haven't had these problems. I'm definitely, I've gone through the change, but I have not... I haven't experienced some of those problems, and so I don't need any extra stuff at this point in my life. But
it is available if you do.
and that's what's important. And here's the thing: every woman's different,
right?
And so, if you're fortunate enough not to have that aspect happening, there might be something else you do have happening, right? So it's always balancing out. But I think it's great to hear that women are having a great sex life and be able to wave that flag.
I don't want to lose an opportunity, but I feel like when there's an opportunity for us to get busy, I want to get busy, because, it's like, I've heard this old man joke, never pass a bathroom, never let a woody go. I'm like, that's right. Every time there's one.
No woody's going to waste around
We're not
here.
going to waste a woody. We're going to take advantage of it. So,
funny,
I really feel like, who knows when or if those changes are going to come knocking on my door. But while I am vital and, normal for me, I would like to continue to be as active as possible. So,
Mr. Molly?
Whoa.
Okay. Well, I completely agree. And I have never heard a man say he's not going to have sex again. And so I don't see why women should want to own that. fully expect to have sex for the rest of my life, as long as I am completely able. But I think, there are components to it, right? Men are less able to be physical when they're not healthy, and then they need external things. Women are less able and feel less attractive and less sexy and less desirable when they're not in the best of health. So I think it's important for us to take care of our health, our physical health, our sexual health, our emotional health, because I think they're all connected. I do hear about women who say, yeah, it's just not the same, it's painful, it's this, it's that, I really don't want to do it. I think there are things that we can do to remedy that.
Right.
So if your interest is still there are things you can do to keep you active.
Right.
Just like men take pills, there are things we can take to keep
Yeah,
ourselves
yeah.
in the game. Fortunately, I haven't gotten to that phase, but certainly if I do, I'll be there.
Hello, what you
I'm
got?
taking pills.
Absolutely.
I got little lubes. I'm good.
Exactly.
So I do, because it sounded sad to me, because it sounds like there are women who get to this life stage who are willing to eliminate an entire aspect of their life, and I think that pleasure is an important part of your womanness and your
health,
sexuality,
of your
and your
human-
health.
yes,
right,
of your
of your
humanity.
humanity,
Your
right?
humanity.
And so, and I don't think that I'm less desirable or that I am less attractive, and I know that has come across in a lot of conversations, because your metabolism has slowed down, and sometimes you could gain weight or whatever you're feeling about yourself. I think we're already our own worst critics, right? When it comes to I don't like this about me, I don't like that about me. I always be like, these thighs, they just, these thighs. But I've never had a man complain about my thighs, right?
That's the thing. I believe it's important to look good
Right.
naked.
And
so
so
it worked
me
out.
and you both feel like we look good naked, right?
Well, but it's not just about looking good, because that's subjective.
And feeling
It's
good.
about feeling good, right? So it's about being able to look at your body and whatever is happening, and
good with it.
and
But it's a
embrace
loop,
that.
right?
Yes,
It's a loop.
Yes, but I think the physical aspects so much inform how we think and feel. So if our body is experiencing discomfort, then we will tend to shy away from the thing. It's like the stove's hot. When don't touch the stove, right? If I'm having pain during sex, I don't want to have sex. So, making alternatives available, understanding what's happening, I think is really important. And, for women out there that, may be looking at us and going, well, that's good for y'all, but what about me?
You too. It's okay for you too.
Yes, but-
and you can send us questions and comments, and we will help you, because that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, well, and it's about understanding and having compassion for the issues that people are dealing
Yes.
with. Because it's difficult sometimes to think outside of your own experience, right? Like we can have compassion for the fact that somebody might be in pain or what have you, but to understand what's really happening
Right.
inside and how this is affecting them emotionally and spiritually, that they feel that something as basic as sex is now completely off the table. That's got to be pretty severe. And some of it is generational about how it came down. And if they saw their moms shutting down, then maybe they're like, and this
Or
is
their
what,
views
this is what
about
we
sex
do.
in general, right?
Exactly.
Because there are lots of people who already have very conservative views about it in general, and so if you were not taught to be pleasured, you might think that, okay, well, I already done served my time, I done made them babies, I'm good. But I think that part of what we want to do here is be the safe space where people can have this
Absolutely.
conversation, and then more importantly, be willing to explore your options, because this is your turn. There's not, this is a freedom type of situation as opposed to a let's dread this life. And I think that, you should embrace every aspect of it, and there shouldn't be anything off the table if it allows you to have a
Completely agree.
full life at this stage. So before we wrap up, we want to give you guys 3 takeaways, food for thought, that will actually be helpful to you in your journey of your own discovery, especially about your sexuality. So Holly, what's your takeaway?
Yeah, I think for women, it's really important for them to love themselves. Really feel comfortable with the woman that you are. You've created children, right? You've had careers, you've juggled all of these things in your life. You've put up with men, you've put up with relationships. You are valuable. So live your best life and enjoy all facets of it.
No?
So I feel like we need to change the conversation about our body images and love the body that you're in. Work as hard as you can on making the body that you're in healthy at whatever size it is. Do not be disappointed if you are on the larger side or the smaller side, but pursue health. And when you become healthy and happy with your body, you will be happy and healthy in your sex life too.
Yeah.
True. For me, the takeaway is, since I didn't say, both Holly and I both say, like, we don't have any issues with body image or, embracing our sexuality. I think that it's all in your mindset. You don't really have to listen to what society says or what blogs say or what the Kardashians are doing. I think that it has everything to do with when you look in that mirror, even on your worst day, that you have to, what you see looking back at you has to be lovable to you. And so when it is, you actually allow yourself the freedom to embrace your sexuality, to embrace your beauty, to embrace those flaws. We all have them. But in embracing them, it means you are accepting yourself. And I think it starts there with accepting who you are in all of your glory. You can't fix the DNA. You are who you are. You were born a winner. And if you can keep that mindset, even on the days that you feel the worst. Actually, the days that I feel like I look the worst are the days that I get the most attention. Like, you got eye boogers and everything. Somebody be like, hey, Ma, what's good? Because I live in Harlem. Hey, Ma, what's good? And I'm like, I ain't your mama. So I think that has everything to do with it. It starts with your mindset.
And I agree. And I was just going to add, I know we're not doing 4 takeaways, but your uniqueness is your normal, right? So there is no comparison. Comparison is the thief of your joy and happiness.
True.
Right? So whatever is unique about you is your normal, and be your best unique you, because nobody else can do it.
On that note, I want to thank you so much, ladies, for having this real open dialogue. We really want you guys to chime in, send us your comments. If you have questions, listen, we will be continuing this conversation, I'm sure, throughout the course of the series that we're doing. And thank you so much for tuning in. The Pause, reclaiming your time. Peace out.